Hi you guys, it's Karina. So I am back with another video tutorial, and this is going to be more of a refresher because this template already does have, I think, a pretty detailed tutorial already, and it is on my Succulent Inspired Template 74. Okay, so this is a succulent template that was released maybe 3 to 4 years ago. But I am working with her this week, and I wanted to do a refresher for you guys. And honestly, every time I work with her, I'm like, oh, I'm so in love with her. So for today, I am going to show you how to make the succulent bud, which is this right here. So it's just like a little bud. And then I'm also going to show you how to make the flower. Now, there are 3 sizes in the original video that I tell you which templates to use to create various sizes. So you have a 10-inch, the largest is going to be roughly around 18-inch, and the one we're going to make today is roughly 14-15 inches. All sizes are assembled the same way. Obviously, the difference will be just the petal size. So you're just going to follow the same steps if you want to make the smaller or the larger. I will show you here in this video as well which templates or which petals you will need to make the larger or the smaller, but we are going to make the medium size today, and then I will just do a brief quick tutorial on how to make the inner succulent buds. Now this template is available in SVG, and you also get the PDF, so you get both just because in case, like for me, for example, I like to use both the SVG for the smaller petals for my Cricut to cut, but then I also like PDF because these petals, once I show you, they are pretty large, and personally, I would rather trace and cut than having my machine just cut like 4 petals at a time when I can cut multiple with my scissors. So you do get that option of the PDF, okay, if you want to hand cut. Now, I am going to take you right now to Design Space to show you what the SVG looks like, because I don't share that in the original video. The SVG was just newly released, but I never showed you what it looks like. So we're going to go to Design Space right now, and I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the SVG. Okay, you guys, so we are on Design Space, and I want to show you what the SVG looks like. So this is what the SVG looks like when you upload it either to Silhouette or Design Space. I want to say when you go to Silhouette, it won't be attached. I think they automatically already ungroup everything, but with Cricut Design Space, as you can tell, this is still grouped. Now, go right here to the corners if you want to make this larger. Okay, and then we are going to ungroup. So you're just going to come over here to this little icon, and you're just going to click ungroup. What that's going to do is now each petal is individual. Now, with all my SVGs, you're going to put in a little bit work only once, and then after that, you're just going to save. I know this can be a little maybe time consuming, especially with this one, because there are 19 petals. So you do receive 19 petals with this succulent. So it is a lot. I'm going to be introducing more of my succulent templates, and you will notice they have a lot of petals. Okay. Now, one of the questions I get asked, why don't I automatically already lock in the sizing for these succulents and do the original measurements? Why? Because I want to give you the option that if you want to create smaller petals or larger petals, you have the option with the SVG. Because if I lock this into my program where I make my SVGs, you're not going to be able to do that, okay? So this is why I have the option for you to do this, okay? Because I can't tell you how many times some of my clients do get upset that they have to do this extra step, but I am just trying to be considerate and allow you to use this template as you wish, because you could also unlock this if you wanted to and manipulate the shape of the petal, and you can create your own, other succulent. Okay, so see how we're like manipulating this? If I were to have that locked in the program where I create my SVGs, you wouldn't be able to do that. And I want to allow for you to use this template as you wish. Okay, now as you can see, pretty much All my SVGs are going to have this for you. It's going to give you a step-by-step of what you have to do. If you want the original measurements as intended, you are going to type in these measurements. So for example, teal is telling you right here is 1.5. So you're going to grab your teal petal. She's the tiny one over here. You're only changing the height, and it tells you right here, you're only resizing the height because the width will automatically change. And you are just going to, 1.5. Next petal, pink. Here she is. Height only 1.7. Okay. Orange, 2. So you're going to do this for all of them. Should only take you a couple of minutes, you guys. Once you have resized all the petals, delete this, okay, and save. That way you have the original measurements of each petal. Save it. So you don't have to do that step of constantly having to add the measurements. Just save it and you're done. Okay, you guys, apologies. I received a phone call, so I am back. So as I was saying, because we are going to be working with the 15-inch succulent, I am going to be doing the old method of tracing and cutting my petals, just because I can cut more petals at once compared to having to load and upload the paper on Cricut Design Space on the mat. But let me show you what the hard copy template looks like. So this is what the template looks like right here. So as you can see, this is the largest petal right here. So you do have pretty large petals along with some really small ones right here. So again, I do use my cutting machine when it comes to the smaller ones, like the 10-inch or even making the buds. But if I'm making like the larger ones, personally, I prefer to trace and cut, just because I can cut 4 sheets at a time and I get more petals out of it. So that's what I am going to be doing. Now, again, there's a lot of petals. So I kind of guide you in telling you how to make the succulent. So this one right here is the 10-inch, but the same way that I assembled this one, meaning the same amount of petals, is how you're going to assemble the 10-inch, the 15-inch, and the 18-inch. And again, I will tell you which petals you will need in order to complete those 3 sizes. That is me guiding you. But after that, if you want to mess around with the template and try to create another succulent with these petals, that is up to you, okay? I'm going to get you started with these 3 sizes, and then you can do whatever you want with this. I am also going to teach you how to make the succulent bud, which is honestly pretty the same as this one. We're just adding an extra layer of petals to make the succulent bud, okay? But with that one, you definitely can make a lot of them, just because it requires 4 petals only. So I mean, you have the option of whichever 4 petals you want to use to create the succulent bud. Now for the 15-inch, I'm going to tell you right now which petals you're going to need. At the end of the video, I will then tell you which petals you would need for the smaller one and then for the 18-inch, okay? And again, apply the same steps. I'm sorry if I'm being repetitive with that. I just want to stress that the flower we're going to make today, apply those same techniques to the smaller or larger. Okay, so 19 petals. I have them right here. Get rid of the top 3. Put those to the side because we don't need those for the 15-inch. So then you're going to need from the 3rd, then we're down to the 4th petal, 5th petal. So count 12, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, 4, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so you're going to need these 12 petals. So then you're omitting the 4 smallest. Okay, so omit the 3 largest and omit the 4 smallest. So then these are the petals that you are going to need. Okay, you guys, so now let me tell you how many petals you're going to need. You are going to need quite a bit. okay? But here are your 12. And now, the amount that I'm about to tell you, apply this to the smaller version, the 10-inch, and the 18-inch, okay? And again, at the end, I will tell you which petals you're going to need. So remember, we omitted the top 3 and the bottom 4, okay? And these are the 12 that we have now. So the smaller petal, you are going to need 5. Okay, so the first petal. Let me put it over here. The second petal, 3. Third petal, 3. Fourth petal, 3. Fifth petal, 4. Sixth petal, 6. Seventh petal, we are skipping. Eighth petal, 6. Ninth petal, skip. Next petal, 8. 11th petal, 20. And then your other petal, your last one, the largest one, will be 20. Okay, so that is the amount that you're going to need. Quite a bit. Okay, you guys, so let's start with the largest petal. So I have it cut. So remember, we need 20. That's because the first layer is going to require 10 and the second layer is going to require 10 petals. So go ahead and use 10. Get first 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am using cardstock, 65-pound weight. I want to say this is from Spring Hill cardstock. I think it's their light pink color. You're going to need a wooden dowel. Okay, so for these first 10, this is the only petals or layer where the petals are going to be facing down like this, and you're going to curl the ends down. Just like this. Okay. Now we are going to glue these around in a circle. Definitely have some sort of mat that protects your desk because, well, at least with me, a lot of times the glue does get on my desk. So this is why we're going to use this. So get your first petal, add a small dot of glue, just like that, just in case if we need to readjust, it's not going to damage the petal if we lift it up. So we're going to go around in a circle. But I do find myself sometimes readjusting. So that's why we're going to add the smallest dot of glue at the corner. And just go around. I am using the Sure Bonder mini detailed glue gun. Okay, so I'm definitely going to need to readjust here because notice how I have this opening space right here. So I am just going to lightly pick that petal up. See how they didn't really do much of a damage. And we are just going to readjust. I'm going to pick this one up as well. See, I don't get it right the first time, you guys. And then I'm gonna readjust this one. And I think that might be it for the readjusting. I think so. Yeah, that works. And then voila. So we have that first layer done. So now obviously we have this circle right here that we need to cover up. And of course, I don't have cardstock near me. Let me go get it. Okay, so I do have some scrap here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut out large enough circle to cover up. Voila. So now we are on to the second layer. So it is the same petal size. This time, I'm going to grab 3 at a time. Curl the petals, but we're going up now. Okay. Petals up. Grab your scissors. You can cut how many you want at a time. You can do 1 or 3. I typically do 3 or 4. And we are going to go straight right here in the middle, just like that. Small dots of glue and cross over. Okay, but you're crossing over, so let me show you. We're not going to glue the petal all the way over here, okay? Because what's happening then, the petal's gonna sit up higher, and we don't want that yet. Okay, so we're just gonna add slight glue, and you're just gonna go right here in that inner corner. Okay, so don't glue all the way over here because we want this petal to lay down flatter. Okay, once we get to the smaller petals, then we definitely want that petal to be lifted up more, but as of right now, we do not want that. We just want a slight little lift. Okay, so it's not flat like this one. So then now you are going to glue your petal in between. So just go around and glue these petals. So there's 10 of them in between, okay? So I will be back. I'm gonna finish up the rest and glue them, and I'll be back once I'm done with these 10. Okay, you guys, so that second layer is done. So here are my 10 already glued in between that first layer. So now we're on to the next size, which we also need 20. So this is gonna be your third and your fourth layer, and it's gonna be the same step. So we're gonna count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go ahead and grab 3. Same thing prepped. We're gonna curl these petals up. Grab your scissors. Cut in the center. Sorry if you hear my children. They are in the room next door and they're playing. Same thing, glue corner and slightly glue. We're not gonna go all the way over here, okay? You're gonna stick here to the front, okay? Glue. And now we're gonna go in between the petals, slightly down right there. Glue. Some glue. Go in between the petals and glue, okay? Let me go ahead and finish this third layer and I'll be back. Okay, you guys, I am done with that third layer. So now we are on to the fourth layer, which is still the same size as this one, 10. And we're gonna repeat the same process. We're gonna curl them forward. From now on, all the petals from right here are gonna be curled forward. You're just gonna add that small dot of glue. Stick to the front still, we're not going over here. Add your glue and then just go in between now these two petals and glue. Just like that. Do you see how we're in between? So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this fourth layer all around in between. So I'll be back when I am done with this layer. All right, guys, I am almost done with this fourth layer. Just gonna finish her up. Okay. So as you can see, what you will notice once you get to that fourth layer, they kind of do start overlapping because we are running out of room here. So this is why the next layer, we're only doing 8 of them, okay? Because if we did 10, they just wouldn't fit. So we're gonna go to the smaller amount. So the next petal is going to be 8. And you're going to prep the same way where you're curling those petals upward. grab your scissors, cut in the center. This time we are gonna glue a little bit further in, more so in the middle. Okay, so this petal's gonna be lifted up a little bit more higher. So just glue more towards the middle, because before we were gluing right here, but now we're gonna go slightly more in the middle so the petal sits a little bit higher. So let me go ahead and prep these and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, apologies. I thought I was recording when I was gluing this 5th layer, but obviously I wasn't, so I lifted them up real quick. So this time we're not really going to go in between the petals, just because that 4th layer is 10 and then this 5th layer is 8. So obviously they're not going to match up. So your goal here is just to glue them around in a circle. So I did kind of start off this one in between just as a guide, but your goal here now is just to glue them around in a circle. Okay. There's my 3rd one. Fourth. 5th. 6th petal. 7th petal. And now my 8th petal. Okay, so here are my 8. Okay, you guys, so we are on to the next layer. So this should be your 6th layer. So, and you do need the 6 petals for this one. So prepping the same way, curl them forward, and then just glue this in the center, just like that. So again, kind of like the 8th petal, we're not really going to go in between. You can start it off in between, but just because these are 6 petals now, obviously they're not, you know, they're not going to quite match up. Your goal here is just like the 8th petal, is you're just going to go around in a circle. Okay, you guys, so we are done with that 6th layer. So again, we just glued the 6 around. So now we're on to the next layer, which we also need 6 petals. So these will be going in between this layer right here, just because we have an even number. Or I should say the same amount, 6 and 6. So this time you're going to go now more towards the end, just because we want these petals lifted a little bit more. So try to glue it more towards the end. So see how the petal is setting up a little bit higher? That is what we want. Now you're just going to add glue and go in between. So you're just going to go in between those petals. Just like that. So we are done with the 7th layer. All right, you guys, so we are on to the next layer. Now here is where we're going to be doing some snipping, some cutting off. So the next petal we need 4, but what we need to do is we need to cut. So right here, this part, this longer part, we need to cut it in half. So we need to cut kind of around, roughly around right here. We just want this petal a little bit smaller. Okay, so then you're going to get your wooden dowel, curl those ends in. Now we are going to cut in the center. We're going to stop where it starts to curve. We're going to add glue over here towards the end, and we're going to try to glue it towards the corner, because we want this petal to sit higher. Do you see how the petal is sitting? That is what we want to do. So let me grab these other 3. to center, just like that. Cross it. Just like that. Okay, so here are my 4 petals. Now what we're going to do, so obviously these are 4 of them. You're gonna glue them. So I'm gonna start in between petals. Now I'm gonna glue the next one right across from it. So here's that first one I glue. So right across from it, I am going to glue the next one. So now I'm gonna grab my next petal. Now I'm gonna go opposite. So kind of center it from these 2. So it's right here. So now I am going to glue this one across from this one, just like that. Okay, and notice how those petals sit higher. That's because of that placement that we're doing. Okay, so we are done with this part. Now we are on to the bud. Okay, so here are the 4. So these are the 4 smallest out of that group of 12. So remember, we needed 5, 3, 3, and 3. So this is how we are going to be making the bud. So grab the first 2. Okay, so for this one, this is the only 2 that we're going to keep them as is. There's no snipping. We are just going to glue them like this. Now get yourself a wooden dowel. Curl those ends forward. So just like when we're going to make that succulent bud, this is pretty much how it's going to be assembled. And we're going to do it in a separate video just because this video is already long. We are going to now, so where it starts to curve, okay, notice how this starts to curve. We're just going to fold that in, crease it. Same thing over here, crease it. Now we are going to form a bud. We are going to interlock these like this to create a cone. And you are going to secure the sides with glue. It is a time-consuming flower. She's so cute, honestly. I love her. So there you go. There is the bud. So we're still with those smaller ones, but we have 3 left. So just like we did with those 4, we're gonna snip. So this long piece right here, we're gonna go right here in the center, snip that off, curl, curl. And we're gonna do the snipping that we just did to the rest. Grab petal, add glue, pick a side, and glue. And now we're gonna wrap this petal around, so kind of just add a little bit of glue on the side. Wrap around, but make sure you're giving some space. Similar to how we formed a rose bud. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to grab the next petal, add some glue on the bottom. This time we are going to find the corner now. Okay, so not this corner, we're going to go to this corner right here and add your petal. Give it a slight bend so it creases. Now we're going to add glue to the side. And glue. Making sure that you're not closing it too in. Okay, notice how I'm leaving a little bit of space right there. Okay, so that's your second petal. Your last petal. Go to the other corner. Fold it. Glue sides. And hug that inner center right there. Just give it a couple of seconds. Okay, so this is what you should have right here. These three right here. It's gonna look a little wonky, it's okay. So we are on to the next three. Repeat, snip some of this off, curl inward, add your glue in the center. Now pick a corner, so I'm gonna go right here. Okay, and I'm gonna wrap this around just like this. So we're gonna add glue and glue and wrap it around. But again, don't wrap it too tightly, making sure that you're leaving a little bit of space. Repeat, go to the next corner, add your petal, fold it, glue to the sides, wrap around. And then we're on to the last one, the last corner. Just hold a couple of seconds. And there we go. We are done with those three. Okay, repeat the same process with the next three. We're gonna snip half of the bottom off. Gonna curl these in. And then just repeat. We're gonna go right here in between this corner. Add your petal. Glue to the sides. And just pinch on the bottom. Let me show you what the bottoms looks like. This is what the bottom is looking like. So now we're gonna go in between right here. Glue, glue. Last one. Okay, so we are down to our last three. We're gonna snip half of that off. I think I need another glue stick. Oh, maybe not yet. So now we're gonna go in between these two petals. Just glue to the sides, just like that. Okay, and notice the spacing. I'm leaving space. Not doing it too tight. So in between this corner now. And you guys, if you don't get this the first time, practice. You have no idea how many times when I was creating this template, like I tried and tried so hard to get it the way that I wanted to, and believe me, it took me quite a bit. Don't ask me how I came up with this template. I don't even know. Now I'm like, how did I even create this? I just looked at a picture online and went to town. Okay, so now we're gonna go here. And I believe I do have on my Instagram, you guys, back in the day when I used to do a lot of Instagram stories, I'm pretty positive that I shared with you the, actually, I think it's even on my Etsy, the inspirational succulent that inspired this succulent right here, like the picture that I seen that inspired this succulent. Because I always do like to share with you the original image that inspired it when creating these templates. So here it is. Here is the bud. Now you can leave it as this. So if you want to create different buds, you can. The next video tutorial, I am just going to share with you. As you can see, I added more petals, and that's just adding an extra 3 right here just to make it more rounder. So I will have that tutorial for you if you want to watch that. Honestly, you don't have to if you're already watching this, but we would just add another layer right here so that way there's 6 of them, okay? All right, so here is the flower portion of it. So obviously now we are just going to glue our bud in the center of our succulent, and that completes the whole process. So you just go ahead and add glue down here. And then just glue her down. Just gonna press on it for a couple of seconds so it sticks. I don't think I put enough glue, did I? Absolutely not. Let's add some more glue. Oh yeah, now we're sticking. All right, I'll be right back once this glues. All right, you guys, and there she is. Isn't she adorable? So that is the 15-inch. So stay tuned now towards the end, and I'm going to tell you which petals you're going to need to make the 10-inch and the 18-inch. Just remember, again, follow the same techniques, because the same amount of petals that I used for this one, same for the 10 and the 18-inch, okay? And then in the next video tutorial, I'm just going to share with you how to make this succulent little bud. All right, you guys, so here is the 18-inch. Let me tell you which petals you're going to need. So here are all my 19. You are going to need the first 12 petals, okay? From largest to smallest, just count down until you have 12 petals in your hand, okay? So, and then you're going to need the same amount, 20, 28. You're going to skip the 4th petal. Then you're going to need 6, skip 6, 4, 3, 3, 3, and 5. Okay, so that is going to be for your 18-inch. Okay, so now we're on to the smaller one, which is the 10-inch. So now go from your smallest to largest. You are going to count 12. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I think I should have my 12 right here. All right, so here are my 12 smallest ones. So again, from bottom to top, you're just grabbing the first 12 smallest, okay? So you're going to need 20. So again, as you can see, it's the same amount. 8. You're skipping the 4th petal. Don't worry about this number here. That's for me for the other size is just for me to refer to. The next petal, 6. You're skipping the next one, 6, 4, 3, 3, 3, and 5. Okay, so that is for the tonnage. And then I already told you which petals to do for the 15. Now, again, I do have another video tutorial when I first did this video tutorial for you guys. And I share the same petals if you want to see that video towards the end. I do have more of a picture, like a snap, like a little shot of a picture of the petals. So if you want to refer to that, go ahead and refer to that old video tutorial and just scroll towards the end, because the tutorial is the same. But if you just need another refresher on which petals, go to that video, go towards the end, and I will tell you which petals you will need. But hopefully this was enough for you, and I hope you found that helpful on my template 74 succulent. You can find this SVG along with a PDF. You get both on my Etsy shop, Ariel Elise Designs. It'll be linked down below. If you have any questions or having issues downloading the SVG, please message me. I'm always there to help. I'm pretty quick at responding. If I'm not, well, I do have 4 kids, so they're probably keeping me busy. But again, I'm always happy to help. So if you're having issues with downloading or you need more help with the succulent, just message me, you guys. I'm always happy to help, okay? My email is ariellisedesigns@gmail.com if you have any questions. And stay tuned for the next video tutorial as we will be working on the succulent, or I should say the succulent bud.